What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on D's Analysis. We're going to be looking at MicroStrategy today. Quick little update. We've been respecting both sides of this channel. I anticipate that the trend will continue where we will reach this target again at some point. I think the later we push it out, the higher it'll be. So we'll see. Maybe it runs out to July and we'll actually hit right on target. That would be ideal, but we never know what's going to happen, of course. But we did break out of this downward sloping trend line. I'm actually now going to delete this trend line, but this was our initial breakout of the primary trend line. We bounced off of it, pushed up, and that trend line coincided with this upward sloping trend line of the gray, the bottom part of this channel. And then we broke out of the secondary trend line, and we didn't really get much of a retest on the weekly, not much on a daily either. We probably only got a retest on on just the 1 hour. We pushed up and then we pushed back inside of it, and then from there we just took off. But things are looking good. We are reaching this level of resistance. We haven't had a strong move yet, but we also haven't touched it. We haven't touched that 388 level. We're not wicking very hard, but we're creating a minor level here, a minor ceiling. So maybe the level is a little bit further down than we anticipate. But price isn't shooting down either, which is a good sign. It's showing strength in the price, and we're looking very good. I mean, this is a nice bounce off of this horizontal level of support and resistance that we've had established for a while now. Like I said, it's starting to really look like this move here. Like I said, from the gray line, it's the fourth candle. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4. With the retest of that horizontal level, and you had a retest of that horizontal level. So pretty identical when you look at the nature of the move. Now we're going to pull the fib in a bullish pull, as you can see here. Got the bounce off the 0.5 to the 618, and here was practically the same idea. We got a bounce off the 0.5 to the 618, just sub of the 618. That's okay. It was more of an exaggerated move. This one was more of a sideways action. This one was sideways initially, and then we broke underneath that level and fell a little bit further, but that's okay. And we're already recovering now, as you can see. But that move off the 0.5 is super strong, and then once we break the 382 and this golden zone, it's going to be game on. And then we spoke about this golden zone previously. This is in a bearish direction, this pull here. So from here to here, this is a pull in the bearish direction and a continuation of the bearish trend. So what we want to do is break this. We want this golden zone essentially to be invalid. We don't want it to be working anymore. So we want to see a breakthrough here, close on the 618 retest, and then we're off from there. So 425 would be the ideal zone to break and close, at least on the daily or weekly time frame. Those are the two time frames that we want to see. Either one. Of course, you want to see it on the higher time frame. So ideally on the weekly, a close at 425 would be key. On the daily, SMAs were looking great, pushing up, and the SMAs started to hug price. It's trying to start to hug price like we've seen previously. So as you can see, when we started running up, you have the curl here, and it just starts hugging price. And then eventually, when we're in that nice trend, our pullbacks will possibly be to the 20-day SMA. As you can see, we kind of pulled to the 20 here, 20. We actually almost touched it here, but you can see that kind of was the trend. So maybe that's what we'll start getting once this move gets extended. Maybe we start pushing up to 500, and we pull and we get close to the 20 when the 20 is pushing up with us. Just my observation. We'll see, of course, as things go. And then holding the 20 week is even more bullish. And we got that bounce off the 50 week, which we spoke about previously. Bollinger Band's kind of the same concept, but we're going to be hugging the red bands on the way up and getting our pullbacks to the blue band in between. So it'll kind of be the same concept. That's what we'll be looking at in between there. And on the RSI, daily, we're looking extremely good. We're almost at overbought territory, but we haven't made it there yet. We're kind of slowly creeping our way up. I kind of like it to slowly creep up, and then once we burst out hopefully we start running up crazy once we hit like 500, because from that point we're already at $500. So all we need is 100% gain to $1,000. Also, it looks like the inverse head and shoulders that we spoke about ended up playing out pretty well, as you can see here. And then your measured target is from the neckline. And you can take that and measure it out. And that's actually exactly roughly where we're at right now. So I'm not saying that we're getting a pullback or anything, but it is a coincidence that that measured target takes us to about 67. We're currently at 67 and we're running into this golden zone. So maybe that's a little bit of a hesitation in price for maybe a day or two, and then we blow past through it. Of course, it can blow through it on the first day and this thing doesn't even play out, which I would love to see. I really hope I'm wrong. I don't want any resistance at all. On the weekly, looking very good. Shot right through the yellow moving average, and we're headed up to overbought territory. As you can see, when we do get overbought above 70 on the weekly, things start to get crazy, and that's where you get the crazy moves. So every time we've entered overbought territory, it looks like on the first one we got 3 weeks of mania, and then here after we entered the 70 region, it was 3 weeks of mania. So I just like to look at history and kind of make my decisions based off of that, because I just want to play percentages and odds. So it looks like whenever we get to the 70 on the weekly RSI, we get 3 insane weeks, and this 3-week period gave us 170%, 167%, and this 3-week phase gave us 145, 146%. So hopefully we just slowly climb our way up. So imagine if we're gonna just use the lower number, which is 145%, right? So when we finally do make it to the 70, what if we're finally at all-time highs there? And then we get 140% or 120%, which takes us to 1200. 140% would take us to 1300. So who knows? I mean, obviously it's speculation, but these 3 moves did happen around all-time high, or not all-time highs, but at the most local high. So this move started here, and this local high was at 70.9, and this thing happened at like 68.5. So, and then this one, the local high was here at 198, and then the 3 crazy weeks happened at 220. That took us to 550 or 540. So what if our 3 weeks start here at 540, and then we run for 3 crazy weeks, and that takes us to our next target, and then maybe we get that cool down period, just how we saw here, but maybe it's more controlled like this one and less aggressive of a sell-off, but very possible. I mean, it kind of makes sense. And in this pullback, we did get a 50% drawdown, and this one we got a 57% drawdown. So I mean, they're almost actually pretty similar. So what if we reach here and then we get a 50% drawdown as well? And that takes us back to 600 before the next leg up, if we get a right translated cycle. If it's a left translated cycle, then maybe this is more of an extended move upward, and then that's the end of the cycle. Just ideas to think about. But anyways, let's get back to this. So here we go. We're on the MACD now on the daily, looking amazing, perfect, ideal. Volume decreased a little bit, but maybe we'll start seeing more of a kick up today. I mean, this is a current candle right now, so let's see if it overtakes Tuesday. Well, I mean, it's pretty close right now, so we'll see how the day finishes. Are almost crossing. Oh, we actually have a green candle, which is nice. That's awesome. We love to see that. We already got our first green candle. So we were talking about it previously where we had a steady decline. So if we continued that pace, it would have taken us all the way out to June before we finally, around June, late May, early June, by the time we would finally hit green candles. But it just started exponentially decreasing. As you can see, this was the first step. A large decrease, a huge decrease, and now we're already green. So that's beautiful. That's perfect, and that's how we want to see it. And now we finally have a green candle. It's very small at the moment, but let's see if it turns out to be a larger candle and we get a continuation like we can see here. And then we want to see the opposite of this. We want to see it slowly climb up and then get those 3 weeks of just insanity where it takes us from 550 to 1200 in the snap of a finger. That's what we want to see. And now we have officially, if you zoom in very closely, we have officially broken the orange line. So looks like we're getting ready to rally just like we saw here. So from here, you can see we rallied immensely from that crossing. It seems like almost every time we get a cross, we got the cross here. This was in a bearish direction. Even on this cross here, it was still a significant move. It was a 100% move when we got this cross here, and that was on a smaller scale. But we got that aggressive cross with volume behind us, and we ran up. We got the cross here again aggressively, and we ran up. And now we are currently getting the cross again. So what do I anticipate to happen? The same thing. We're finally getting the cross here. So, and we're finally getting our first green candle. So it's just playing out to be the same thing potentially. We'll see how it goes, but it's looking very bullish. And global liquidity continues to ramp up. It had a minor pullback, but it looks like we are trying to make our way up now. So we pulled back pretty significantly. We did lose this level right here. We fell underneath. Unless we're creating a head and shoulders, which is possible. Maybe this is a shoulder, head, and now we're creating the next shoulder to go down further. And that would be the end of the global liquidity move, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we are actually starting to create higher highs, and we're going to push up higher. I think this is just another pullback like we've seen multiple times. That's what I actually see happening. And I think that's going to extend Bitcoin's move and Microstrategy's move even longer and further throughout the cycle. Now, an interesting chart that I've seen from Ben Cohen is the Tether Dominance. So this is a very, very interesting chart, and I think you guys are going to like it. I don't know if you've seen it before. Probably you guys have, because it's very popular. But man, you get this Tether Dominance and you overlay Bitcoin, and this thing's actually insane. So let me make this on the log scale. I like using log. I know some people like using regular, but log just makes it cleaner. So we touched this line here in December 2017. We touched it here. We touched it here, another one, and so on. You can see it happening continuously. It is crazy. We didn't touch it here, but we got close. A peak. We touched it here. Oh, actually both times we touched it here and we touched it here. And now I would imagine, I'm not saying that this is going to tell us exactly when we top, but there's a strong chance. Remember, we're just playing odds. That's all we're doing. We're compiling different data from different points, and we're all just trying to put it all together to draw one conclusion of where things would go, how high we possibly could go. And this is another key component, along with pi cycle indicator and stuff like that, which we can probably talk about in another video. But yeah, I could see us maybe continuing to chop and slowly making our way down. And then once we touch this, we top in Bitcoin. That'll be the top. So let's see when it happens. Maybe it happens sooner. Maybe it's September. Maybe it's July, depending on right translated or left translated. But maybe we see something like that. It'll be interesting to see though. But I do think this is going to be something that we should definitely keep an eye on and definitely keep talking about, because this could call the potential next top, or at least the local top, because we've still been running up, since February, but it did call this top here in March 2024, and then it called this November top and January top. So very interesting concept. We will see where it takes us. This is kind of what I'm seeing here on Bitcoin. On the hourly, seeing a nice bull flag being played out, or bull pennant, looking very bullish, playing around in this area, but let's see where it takes us. It could take us much higher. We definitely need to crack above this and get a close above this trend line up here, and then break these highs at 96,000 so we can rally up higher. Overall, things are looking very good. I'm excited for the next couple months. We'll see how things play out, of course. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you enjoy content like this, share with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one.